Hello and welcome. My name is Bilal Akil and welcome to the show where you join me live in London, where I'll be kind of doing a freestyle kind of abstract painting, whatever comes to my mind. I'll be kind of talking about whatever is kind of happening or in my mind, or things that I'd kind of like to kind of discuss and I thought might be topical or might not be topical. You may use this as kind of something in the background, maybe to fall asleep or maybe to kind of have some inspiration. Whatever it might be, I hope that you enjoy this short episode. I normally tend to just talk about whatever I freestyle paint, I draw inspiration from whatever is around me, and that's it. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Let's see what we can start and see what the mood is today. So let's get some pencil colours out. I was quite feeling a dark kind of mood. The pencil colours that I have are quite light. Let's see. I was quite inspired to kind of have a yellow. Let's just see. I get some marks on. That's it. And then within that, let's get that there. And these are like kind of a pastely kind of pencils. Just wanted to make something quite abstract. Let's see how this goes. It could be that these get covered, or maybe not. A leaf. Let's see. It's feeling quite leafy. And then I wanted to kind of add in this kind of peachy colour. Quite like this peachy colour. Let's bring that in there. One thing I thought I raised in the previous episode is that I am continuing to raise funds for charity for the flood victims in Pakistan. The floods continue, the rainfall continues, and many people have lost their lives. And so for raising funds for the charitable kind of contributions and donations, I'll be kind of selling this particular work in aid for charity. And so if you are so inclined and you feel like making a contribution, please do go to my social media websites or sites, and feel free to kind of drop me a line there if that's something you are interested in. Actually, talking of just like flood victims, is always, I mean, there's lots of catastrophes happening in the world, and that's something I'm particularly closer to. But you know, one can only sympathise with many people that have lost their homes, and families that have been displaced and lost loved ones. Don't know what the meaning of this painting is, if that's what you're looking at. Let's just have that surrounded by that.
Rest light.
It's kind of this floral lotus thing. Talking of lotuses, I saw this kind of in my little tray. It's always dangerous to have vibrant colours when you're making a dark painting. I've got this kind of turquoisey colour, and I just wanted to bring that in. I look quite vibrant. I think it's more of a summer type mood. It's quite simple. Now let's see what we could do with this kind of simple, or where this simple kind of painting goes. I want to darken it up a little bit. I don't know why. Let's see. Okay. Deep purple, where did that come from? Get this. Deep darks. Deep reds and greens. Ooh. Yes, now we start with the blues. Let's see where this kind of mood goes. So you add some blacks and deeper yellows in, dark greens. Oh, I said dark greens. Ended up being kind of this light, nice olivey green. Let's see if we can. Oh, this more vibrant green is kind of coming in. Let's kind of keep that expression open. Let's see where this can be layered. Let's see what we can add in. Let's see. Quite feeling these purples. And I keep it freestyle. Let's see what happens when you paint over these colours here. See if we can create a mishmash. It's interesting. When you kind of brush over it, it creates an interesting effect. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I'm thinking of adding more mediums, more pencils, more crayons, and just kind of going all at it in future episodes. But for this episode, I quite like the simple nature of these watercolor paints. Right. It's a thought that comes to my mind. It's something I haven't promoted recently, but I should do more perhaps proactively. So I have a course on Udemy on how to draw. So if you're a kind of simple kind of artist seeking to kind of learn how to draw some basics, for really the kind of from doodling and to building up to kind of basic forms, and it's something you might want to have some kind of guidance on, then there is a link to that in the description below. I've recorded it quite a while ago. I just haven't had the time to market it really, but I thought that whilst I was doing this, I should mention that at least. I wanted to kind of make a really kind of a dark, I don't know, a dark kind of greeny feel. It just keeps on coming deep purple. I don't know why we're going deep purples and purples. I wanted these kind of deep greens, and maybe I should mix in different types of yellows to get that. I don't know. I just have this dark painting in mind, but just this red. I'm hearing deep engine cars in the background, and sometimes I just feel somewhat guilty that I should be out there also filming the cars, but we can't do everything. And at the moment I quite like how this painting is going or not going. It's kind of just making a little mess out of it. I just don't know where it's going off to. Yeah, that lovely engine in the background. What I was hoping for is that we had this, maybe these kind of dark greens perhaps. Ooh. Dark greens mixed with like ochre yellows. That's becoming more muddy. I don't know what the idea is. Maybe kind of a bit of black and yellow. Let's see. My palette looks like a real dog's dinner. Look at that. I think, given my palette looks like a dog's dinner, it looks, kind of feels like this work is also looking like something like that also. Have some oranges going on. I'm gonna give up on the idea of making a dark kind of painting. I'll let it be whatever it wants to be. Stop. I mentioned dogs, and now we can hear dogs barking in the background. I mean, it is a little garden, so I'm sure there will be dogs walking around. Quite a pleasant day so far. The kind of watercolour seems to be doing its own thing. I quite like that. When it dries, it has its own language. It spreads and disperses in a particular way. Child. So saying he wants to see his mother. Children, people in the park. One thing I like about this paper is it has its decals. The paper is cut quite like these particular edges. It's quite nice. Let's see if we can get some of these interesting blues in, perhaps. I wonder if that would change that. Oh, it does change it a little bit. Oh, that's some. So it's gone from a very dark painting to kind of blues. Perhaps for the next works I should keep my palette limited. What is this? What's going on here? Don't know. Doesn't seem to be saying. Maybe it doesn't have to say anything. It's become layered. You can see the yellows kind of seeping through now that as the paint dries. Let's see some blues in, some deeper reds in, some deeper reds in there. Right. We can keep on going on. Oh, there's dark greens there. I wanted to add in some blues. Oh, that's quite spicy. And if blue could be quite spicy, it's a kind of a warm colour there actually. Put in some deeper reds. Keep on going on and just layering and laying this. I just wonder what it would be like if we continued to layer this. I just love the properties of watercolours. What they do. If you're a watercolor painter and you find this inspiring, let me know what you think. If you're a watercolor painter and you think this is absolutely disgusting, also let me know what you think. If you want to loosen up your paintings, I hope this might be of inspiration. Well, that's something. It's a real departure to what I've done in the last episode. Interesting. I don't know. I don't want to keep on going on. I think perhaps something I could layer perhaps when it's dried. But I think for now I'd like to... I say I always stop, but I always want to go on. I just want to add something else. I want this obsession of making it darker perhaps around the edges. I don't know why. Perhaps we could just kind of bring it in a little bit more. It's interesting when you see this. I say I'm not painting my surroundings, but in context, I'm wearing a kind of a burgundy kind of vest, and there's got burgundy there. There's a bit more burgundy there. I'm surrounded by these lovely mansions behind me, which are in this kind of orange kind of colour, and you see elements of that orange coming in there. There is kind of green foliage around, which also is kind of reflected there. I guess this could be like a form of also kind of translation of that green. There is a kind of old red phone box right in the distance there, and that could be perhaps why that red is there, which is quite interesting. And I'll switch the camera around so you can see. So just have a look around what I'm seeing, right? So if you used to kind of blur your eyes, you could see kind of things that have inspired me. Anyway, I think we'll call this a day. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and this work. Stay tuned for more. Until then, take care. Goodbye.